On to you, Scorpio. So you Scorpios have the Eight of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and then you Scorpios have the Four of Cups. So for you Scorpios, a lot of you, let me back this up. So for you Scorpios, a lot of you right now, you have the Eight of Pentacles, Scorpio being the eighth zodiac sign, so very significant. The reason why is because a lot of you don't have to count on other, fickle people to, get what you need to get done. The Eight of Pentacles speaks to how you Scorpios very much so are doing great, being single. And that's an amazing thing, because for you Scorpios, a lot of the relationships that you would have been in, a lot of those people would have did everything that they could to hold you back. And you really sometimes underestimate what I mean when I say hold you back. I mean just that. Sometimes people in relationships be doing everything that they possibly can to make sure that they can sabotage the other person, because they really don't want that other person to actually be able to move up in the world. That way to them, because they figure they don't want this person to trample over them or start moving differently. And it's like, but the thing about it with that is, the reason why is because they move. The reason why you got to move differently, you're going to move differently regardless, in essence, right? If you really got it like that, you're supposed to move differently. You can't just be moving recklessly out here in the world. So the thing is that the Page of Cups and the Four of Cups represents, you moving forward, while a lot of people spiritually are really like dumbed down. They still on the same old tired stuff. And a lot of you Scorpios are doing everything else in the world to advance. You are advancing. And it's like, whatever kind of formula that these people that you were trying to get to know, right? Whatever kind of formula they had, it obviously isn't working, right? Here you are doing your own thing. You moving up in the world, and the Four of Cups right here represents how they're staying stagnant. They don't know where their next meal is going to be. They're not really taking very good care of themselves, really whatsoever. And the situation for you Scorpios is that that's not your problem. The Lovers, again, the Lovers and the Eight of Swords represents you have to take care of yourself. Like, what exactly did they think was going to really happen? You have to take care of yourself, right? When you Scorpios understand, or you started to begin to understand that sometimes people just don't have your back like that, despite how much you have theirs, that was a wrap for you Scorpios. That lets you Scorpios know everything that you needed to know, and that you have to actually look out for yourself, because other people are not going to look out for you. Not even the people sometimes that you would consider romantic connections with, or you have a romantic connection with, will look out for you in a way that you Scorpios will actually look out for yourselves. And so the Eight of Swords, right? So now you got the Eight of Swords and the Six of Cups. So here, somebody that you essentially just quietly left, you quietly quit, just stopped talking to them. Here they are coming back, reaching back out to you again, like a dog with their tail tucked in between their legs. And the Eight of Swords right here represents how you Scorpios are deciding to not do anything. You're not moving forward with this person. You're not speaking anything. You're not saying anything, right? The ideology that they have is that, they're going to reach out to you, and you Scorpios have to forgive them at some point and begin to talk to them again. And it's like, they completely misconstrue. The Page of Pentacles in a Tower, which is Scorpio, so you showed up in your own reading, but they completely misconstrue what's going on with you. You Scorpios don't have any kind of grudge against them. You just don't care, because once again, how come they didn't appreciate you? How come the relationship didn't take off the way that it was supposed to the first time around? It didn't, because more than likely this person was being a jerk, They were giving you an unnecessarily an unnecessary difficult time. They was just hard to get a hold of when you would reach out to them. Whatever it is that you wanted to invite them to, they never had the time for it. They every time you hear about them or you may see them, they may even have texted you about how they hanging out with somebody else, right? And then they talk the person up to be so much greater than you when you Scorpios was standing right there. You were right there, whether spiritually and you were talking on the phone or physically, and they had to go over there to the fly person, right? The person who's flyer than you, and then they went off with the other person. But see, here's the catch-22 for them. They got their butts kicked, right? Life kicked their butt. It didn't work out the way that they were trying to make it seem like. Because what they was trying to do is they was trying to essentially make you jealous. And now you and all these people that they tried to make you feel jealous of, you would have to compete with those individuals. So now it's like you know what I mean? So now it's this twisted game of you over here trying to compete for this person's affection and love and all of that. But it just didn't turn out the way that they intended it to. That's why they come back, because they never really was truly in love. They never really was truly in love with these people in the first place. You were always the person that, these exes essentially was in love with. It's just that the situation with them is the other person, and I've talked about this before, the other person is the fall guy. Like whenever it is that you see those types of relationships where the person starts wilding out on you and then they betray you and then they talk up this person and they doing too much talking up, 9 chances out of 10 they still in love with you. It's just that the other person is the tool. And I'm sorry to say it, but it is what it is. So again, so they had to come back because of the fact that you Scorpios just didn't fall for the bait. You didn't try to, let your ego take control and start competing with these people. And then you have the Emperor and the Judgment, which is about you remain calm, cool, collected, and you just let them say whatever it is that they had to say. And, again, it backfired on them because what they should have done is that they should have stepped to you correctly, but they didn't want to do that. They spent so much, this ex spent so much time trying to, it may not have necessarily even been a full-on ex, but it could have been somebody that you had the hots for and that you were trying to talk to them, but they never decided, they wanted to play the game. They wanted to act like, they don't need you, right? I don't know why, but they were trying to act like they didn't need you and all of that. But what ended up happening is they ended up playing themselves because they didn't think about things in the long run. They was just thinking about, reindeer games, jealousy games of, you're supposed to, be such, you're supposed to be up underneath a spell so deeply, you just get taken over. You just get possessed by this jealous fit of rage that's supposed to get you, or envious, that's supposed to get you to compete, for the next person that they show affection to, so that you can win over their heart. And it didn't work out like that. So let's clarify the Judgment. The Eight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and then you have the Four of Wands. So the Eight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles represents you Scorpios just continuing to live your life. It didn't work out for them, but you continuing to live your life. You working hard. A lot of you right now are independent. You're not really seeing anybody, although you're open to it. A lot of you Scorpios are very much so laying low, and you're just essentially doing what you're doing. You're keeping your life simple. The Ten of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Four of Wands represents, and whenever it is that you're ready to, you want to talk to somebody, you will take a chance and talk to somebody. It's just that for you Scorpios, you're just not like you're not doing the Scorpio thing that you would have done a year ago, 2 years ago, which is for you to take it personally whenever it is that you Scorpio see that the person isn't the correct person for you. And because of that, a lot of you Scorpios very much so are not getting pressed. You're not getting stressed out or impressed with, mediocrity. A lot of you Scorpios very much so are down to earth around this time, and very much so focused. And a lot of you, what I'm saying here is that a lot of you Scorpios, very much so, you have a better understanding of what it is that you need to do. Y'all, some of you Scorpios, right, this Eight of Pentacles, y'all could even be working overtime, at your job and pulling in that bank. So a lot of you Scorpios very much so are happy where you are. Things are very simple, and you don't need this person, this dysfunctional person, right, showing up out of the blue to mess your life up again, because they be having these half-baked plans on some Pinky in the Brain type stuff. By the way, Pinky was the actual genius. It wasn't Brain. It wasn't the brain. It was actually Pinky, for all those people who may not have known, because the brain would always come up with a half-baked plan. Pinky would always tell him the flaw in the plan, and then Brain wouldn't listen to what it is that Pinky had to say. And what would happen? The brain would inevitably fail. And there was a point in time where the brain ended up giving up on trying to conquer and rule the world, and Pinky ended up actually successfully doing it. And then on some compassion type stuff, ended up passing it off to the brain, and the brain ruled the world at one point, but he ended up messing it up. And when Pinky ruled the world, it was world peace when he had it. So, you know what I'm saying? So, point that I'm trying to make here with that analogy is they be coming up with half-baked plans, and their hubris, them being so self-absorbed, they don't seem to understand why it's half-baked. It's like, why can't they just be in a straight up relationship with you, right? Why can't they just do things the correct way? No, they gotta go all around the world in 80 days by getting somebody else that they don't even necessarily want. The other person is the tool that they're using to make you jealous. So on one hand, they like you, but they're not actually taking the time. They like you and they know a lot about you, but they're not actually willing to be in a peaceful, functional relationship with you, because they have proven themselves to be dysfunctional, while at the same time they're in a relationship, a fake relationship with another person that they wouldn't even bother to even get to know. So let me break this down for you even further. So on the one hand, they have the hots for you, but they keep messing up their opportunities on some Pinky in the Brain type stuff. But then even when they have this brand new person where, they can just start fresh, they still don't even know how to make relationships work. This is why they value below. That's pretty much it for you Scorpios for now. Appreciate you.